I need to speak to parents and grandparents and all adults who work with young people, especially the teens in our community. This is a matter of significant urgency. I'm Mike Fitzgerald, the Chief of Police in Brattleboro, Vermont. As you can recognize, I'm in the public safety business. Many things threaten our safety. However, a specific danger I'm struggling with right now comes about quite differently. You're in the family safety business, so I think we need to join forces.
Hello, my name is Crystal Long, and I'm a recent graduate of the Brattleboro Union High School. And I want to talk to you about what you can do to help keep your children and other people in your life safe. One of the fastest growing threats to the teens in our community comes from the abuse of prescription drugs. A recent statistic shows that a person in America dies every 18 minutes from prescription drug overdoses. That statistic represents an alarming increase in deaths of teens and young adults. In Windham County, 1 in 20 high school students have misused a prescription drug pain reliever or stimulant in the past month.
Prescription medication abuse is devastating families and communities all across our country. This is not acceptable. In this case, no drug dealer exists for me to arrest. This form of drug abuse, no drug dealer exists. Instead, the drugs come right from our homes. They come from us. How can that happen? Well, often it happens quite innocently. You or I have a medical condition that appropriately requires a medication that calms our nerves or treats our pain. And then we have some left over when we no longer need to use that medication. It goes into a drawer, gets left on a counter, or even in a purse.
The next thing we know, a curious child, or perhaps a teenager, finds that medication in their home, at a friend's home, or a relative's home and decides to give it a try. In the case of a teenager, we have that added ingredient of peer pressure and social stigma that makes this sequence of events even more likely and devastating.
Each of us can easily become the source of an unthinkable tragedy in such a saga. A simple lapse on our part can end in ruined lives and even death. I want to suggest a program for each of us to consider, and I hope to put into action. Step 1, secure your medications. Each one of us must recognize that prescription medications deserve the same care as loaded firearms. I say that with deadly seriousness. Responsible adults keep firearms locked up, and we need to secure our prescription drugs in our homes for safety reasons as well. You can do this in a drawer, but few of us have drawers with locks. Fortunately, for less than $20, you can purchase a medication box with a combination lock like this one. Yes, I recognize that someone can steal the entire box and break it open with a hammer, but that event will not go unnoticed, and that's the point. I want to ask parents to get one of these medication safes and use it. I also want to ask parents to give grandparents one of these boxes because your children spend time there. And I'd even go one step further and ask parents to talk to their neighbors, relatives, and friends' parents about lock boxes. If you cannot afford a medication box, the Brattleboro Police Department has a limited supply of them available. At the very least, put your medications in a place that your children will be very unlikely to find them, and keep track of how many pills are in the bottle so at least you'll know if any go missing.
Step 2, discuss medication misuse. I want the parents in our community to promise to talk to their kids about this danger twice each year. Pick a special occasion and make it a tradition. For example, every Thanksgiving and every 4th of July. Have this conversation with your kids. If we make these 2 dates the official talk about drugs dates, we stand a better chance of making the actual conversation happen. When you have that talk, explain the dangers in an age-appropriate manner. If you're talking to a teenager, I do have some specific suggestions. Have a back and forth discussion about the reasons young people may misuse medications. Let them know that some people misuse medications to feel better emotionally, but that this is not a healthy way to deal with emotions, and that ignoring emotions is not healthy either. Your teenager needs to settle with you on a code word or phrase that they can use when they are with their friends to let you know that they are under pressure to try a prescription drug, or any drug for that matter. Your teenager needs to know that if they use that code word, that you will come to their rescue in a way that keeps them safe and does not destroy their social standing. I'm sure you understand the importance of that step.
Feel free to tell your older children or teenagers that Chief Fitzgerald insists that all parents in this community check up on their teenagers when it comes to the inappropriate use of prescription medication. I'm happy to play the bad guy if doing that can reduce the chance of my coming to your house to deal with prescription drug tragedy. I don't ever want to do that again.
Also, avoid taking your medications in front of your children. When your children see you casually taking a pill, it makes that action appear trivial and masks the potential huge danger inherent in the misuses of prescription medications.
Certainly, do not share your medications with anyone. That kind gesture is against the law, by the way. Give your children medications, even an aspirin, only as prescribed. Step 3. Dispose of any unneeded or expired medications. We have a medication disposal box in our police department, and you will find similar boxes in over 40 other police and sheriff departments throughout the state. Call 211 or other locations. Simply remove or black out your personal information on your medication. Bring unneeded and expired pills and patches to the location. Put them in the box just like you would a piece of mail. Our department is open 24/7, but times vary at other locations. We do not accept liquids or needles. Liquids can go in coffee grounds or kitty litter and be disposed of in the trash. Don't flush anything down the toilet. Flushing can prove harmful to the environment. To recap: secure, discuss, dispose. We thank you sincerely for listening to this message, and we thank you even more if you will take action to protect our community's treasure, our youngsters. And please let me know if you have any ideas about other things we might do together to solve this problem.